Hello, everybody, and welcome back. I am the Sovereign, and this is my court. If this is your first time in attendance, hello, please consider hitting the subscribe button before you leave our kingdom. I have brought back out the lapel mic because I don't want any audio issues, and I want to make sure everyone hears me loud and clear during this video. This was not my planned video for today. I have other videos I'm supposed to do. But after that failed live stream on Instagram, which I apologize for because the audio cut out for whatever reason, I feel like I need to do this video because I find myself admittedly very disappointed in a lot of pageant fans. Apparently the laundry's done. Not all pageant fans, but too many pageant fans I find myself disappointed in. And we need to talk about this because a lot of the stuff that I talk about here at court are things that I want pageant fans to know and discuss, because the queens tend to be very educated and they tend to know what they're talking about and they tend to be a bit more aware, which is why I voice my displeasure with Miss Romania's admitted ignorance. Even though I accept that as a competitor, I do expect more of her. But there are too many pageant fans, even here at court, who are not as dedicated as they should be as pageant fans. I find myself disappointed because we sit here and we fangirl and love on these ladies all day, every day, and they deserve it. They're amazing. But to be a true fan, you can't just sit here and talk about their evening gowns. You can't just sit here and talk about their walks or their swimwear competition performance or their hair or their looks or the pictures that they're taking. You cannot just sit here and claim I'm a pageant fan and not take something away from what these women are trying to give you. As pageant fans, we expect these women to be so much. We expect them to be so well educated. We expect them to be so well spoken. And then pageant fans don't listen to what the queens have to say. You expect so much from them, but at the end of the day, you want to focus on their iconic dresses and not the advocacies or the words coming out of their mouths. And the reason that I am displeased is because I'm finding out that I'm doing a lot of the work that other people aren't doing. And I'm sad. Obviously, not all of you, because I've spoken to some of you in the Discord, which is linked below, and I've spoken to you on Instagram, which is linked below, about these issues. So a lot of you are very educated, but too many of you aren't. I just did a video discussing Miss Romania's blackface incident, which she has apologized for, so she is excused from this conversation. But that video was not necessarily for her. It was for the people who were coming out in defense of blackface, even though she herself admitted that it was wrong. And I did not want to be unfair to Miss Romania, because her ignorance is a shared ignorance, which is very evident within the comment section of that video. It's not just her. Racism, number one, is a worldwide issue, which is why I called out India and the Philippines. But that's not to say that Indonesia, Vietnam, and the United States does not share the same issue. I was not going to allow anyone to dogpile Miss Romania when it's very obvious that it is a worldwide issue. Now, the reason that I'm claiming ignorance on behalf of the pageant community is because people seem very upset or oblivious that racism is in fact a worldwide issue. And I'm not going to call out the specific nation from which many of the fans come from, but you know who you are. And the reason I know you're ignorant and you're not paying attention to the words that come out of the queen's mouth is because, number one, Zosie stood on a Miss Universe stage and told the world that she faced discrimination. She has said it in many interviews, from The Daily Show to different news channels. She has talked about the discrimination that she gets as a dark-skinned black woman, not even as just a normal black woman, because Zosie gets discrimination that even I don't get. It is different. She talked about it in front of everyone. So to say it doesn't exist is to call our Queen Zosie, Her Majesty herself, a liar, which is what I won't have it. Not in this court, you won't. But beyond that, I can tell that people aren't paying attention to the words that come out of these queens' mouths is because Zosie, once again, herself, praise this queen. Zosie herself did an interview about 7 months ago with Miss Universe 2000, who was an Indian woman. And thank you, Lee. Thank you for showing me this interview, because I have been following different queens from around the world who have been speaking on the same issues that I have been speaking about, such as the queens from Sri Lanka. So there's queens all over the world. So this is why I know that people haven't been listening to them or paying attention to them, is because I cannot claim credit as the first person to speak about certain issues around the world. But Lee, bless him, I don't know how he keeps tabs on everything. He's a very good courtier, and this is why he's a Viscount. You're amazing, Lee. Zosie did the interview with Miss Universe 2000, and within that interview, there was discussion of the skin bleaching, skin lightening issue within the country of India.
I remember watching this documentary and actually having a conversation with you yesterday on the phone when you said, you know, when a child is born, the first question they want to know is the child fair-skinned or is the child
male or female first?
Male or female?
Male or female first. And secondly, if it's female, fair or dark?
Female, is she fair or dark skinned? And I remember coming across this documentary that was taken in India about women and beauty, and they spoke about the skin bleaching and lightening industry being $1 billion industry,
Yes.
not only in India but Asia, you know, as a whole. And I remember watching this and thinking, this is so interesting. And I'm so happy to be talking to you today, someone who is, you know, an Indian Asian woman who also happens to have a beauty line.
You know, this part of the world, we want our skin to be lighter and whiter and fairer. And then when you go to the other side of the world, everybody's lying out in the sun all summer, looking like lobsters, rather than the women that they think that they're going to look like and, you know, want to look like. So it's always, I mean, we're never going to be happy, right? But over here in this part of the world, it goes a little bit more deeper and more sinister than that, because people are so obsessed with light and fair skin, and that's attributed to their idea or their concept of what they consider beautiful. You know, that has been something that India has battled for many years and many generations. But it's a massive industry. It's a huge business. It's $1 billion industry that's fueled by a lot of multinational companies that spend a lot of money to market these kind of products within this part of the region of the world. And, you know, it's going to take some strong sort of activism and advocacy to really bring that to, I wouldn't say, I don't think we'll ever be able to eradicate it. I know it sounds negative, but I think just to bring it to a neutral standing is going to take a while longer.
And this is another reason I really stress being unbiased here on this channel, because I adore the pageant queens, but that doesn't necessarily mean I'm going to ignore if they make a misstep or if they do something wrong. In one of my live streams on Instagram, I talked about India. In fact, I've talked about India a lot. India, I hope they're not wasting her. They better not be wasting India. India has a good queen. I'm going to be a little bit upset if they waste her. Okay? Because I feel like India is so used to Miss World that they don't practice for Miss Universe. Like, Miss World is easy. India can take that any time of the year, whatever. India can take Miss World. Easy for them. I want to see the Miss India fire. I want to see that spice. I know they have it. We just need it for the Miss Universe stage. But I hope that they're working on getting that out of her, because India has a good shot if the coaches and organization don't waste her. Do not waste her. Because if India comes onto the stage being a pretty princess, not a chance. It's not gonna work. It's never gonna happen. It doesn't work. India's good at being a princess. It's why they kick the crap out of Miss World all the time. Miss World loves a princess and India's good at it. But I kind of feel like India is wasted because their women are not only beautiful, but they have the capacity to be very fiery. But culturally, India doesn't like to put that, they don't do that publicly. Like, Indian women don't typically put that passion and fire out publicly. Will they do it with their families? Absolutely. But they don't typically do it publicly. But we need them to for Miss Universe. India's got the potential, but they need to let go of those cultural norms to, like, withhold all that energy. Because I know they got the fire. I've seen the spunk. Okay? I've seen it. I've seen the fear that Indian women can strike into Indian men. They have the fire, but they need to do it on an international stage. But that doesn't mean that I'm unwilling to call out nonsense when I see nonsense and know for a fact that it's wrong. That does not mean that when I like someone or something that I am not willing to say when they've done something wrong. I've said it many times. Now, in this situation, I think it helps to know a few things about me, and it's been a while since I've done a video about myself. So let's just get a little bit of background information out there for those of you who are new or unaware. I am a political science major with a focus in international relations. That's why I have an interest in international things. And part of the reason I have an interest in pageants is because it's international. But also, I saw a lot of comments that claimed that I've never stepped foot in the continent of Asia when I lived in Japan. I used to live in Japan. So then there's that. Now, though this issue to me is pretty indisputable because there is insurmountable facts that can be dropped on you that this is a problem. The skin colorism issue in many countries is a problem. The fact that people would dispute, pageant fans would dispute this fact means that you're not listening to the queens. Not the queens from your country and not the Miss Universe who spoke about it on stage to the world. Hello everybody, I'm sitting here editing this video right now, and I just recalled that there is something that I did not include here. People need to learn the art of when to not speak. When Filipino fans came and told me that I was mispronouncing certain cities from their country incorrectly, I did not argue with them. I did not say, oh, this is how I speak. This is my American accent. You guys shouldn't judge me for how I speak. I did not try to correct them and tell them that they were wrong. I did not do any of that. I shut up, I listened, and I learned. I allowed Filipino fans to teach me so that I would not be on YouTube spreading the incorrect pronunciation of cities that belong in their country. I did them the courtesy of respecting the proper way of how to treat their culture, and I listened so that I would not be the catalyst of misinformation, so that I would not be the one bringing harm to their country, so they would not go and see other Americans mispronouncing cities because it was my fault. That's how you handle situations with certain people tell you what you're doing is incorrect. I do and will continue to talk about the representation issues affecting the Black community, but I don't like to turn a blind eye to people that suffer the same way that my people suffer. I have no problem speaking out for others. Now, I'm not going to fight every battle. I am not fighting everybody's battle. Every war is not my war to fight. And quite honestly, you guys already know that I'm exhausted from having to just deal with the Black issue. So I'm not going to fight every battle that happens around the world, though I acknowledge that the battles are similar. Now, what I'm not going to allow is for people to come into my court and make it seem as if I'm fabricating evidence, as if I am not telling the truth, when I have the people who face these struggles here in my DMs telling me about their stories. Because like I said, it's not 1 or 2 or 3 countries. This is a worldwide issue. I have people from all over the world saying that they face these struggles. And instead of showing your ignorance within the court, maybe you should do the background research in your particular country to find out what's going on. Because at this point, I'm a little bit disappointed that people don't know that I'm not going to step on my YouTube and bring it to court and speak on something that's not factually able to be proven. That's not something that I do. And I'm just very disappointed in pageant fans for not paying attention to the queens, because I'm not claiming credit that I'm the first person that spoke out a bit about racism, blackface, colorism, or bullying. I've tackled all those topics and seemingly have gotten backlash for these very simple issues, things that we can easily say are bad. I cannot claim credit for being the first person to speak out about these things. You don't have to listen to me, but you should be listening to the queens. Zosie has been queen for over a year speaking about these issues. And why is this a debate? Like I said in the video about blackface, it's not a debate. And for those of you, let me just answer this question real quick. Those of you who don't know the difference between art and blackface, here it is. One of these things exists in the real world and one of them doesn't. Like literally, this is just a picture of a Black woman with gold eyeshadow, which once again, I'm not calling out Miss Romania again because I didn't even drag her in the blackface video. You guys know me, okay? If I want to drag somebody, I'm going to drag you. I will drag you and leave a bald spot. You know when I want to drag somebody. So she, like I said, she's excused from this, but there is no debate about what blackface is. And for those of you, oh, she's just appreciating Black skin, blah, 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 blah. How about we not treat Black skin as if it's something abnormal? Like black skin shouldn't be treated as if it is artistic or different or like something to be used, like normalize black skin. How about that? That would be nice. Either way, in a court run by an African-American woman, we're not here to debate blackface or racism. You're gonna have to go somewhere else for that. In a court run by a face that looks like mine, racism will not be debated as a worldwide issue when everyone knows that it is. And for those of you who are bigoted, prejudiced, racist, you don't need to tell us when you unsubscribe. Like honest to God, trust me, we're not trying to keep you. You can go. Like in fact, do me a favor, don't announce your presence because I don't want people to know that there were ever any racist people in my court. Just like silently go out the back door. I will not be bothered, okay? But back to my general disappointment in the pageant community, because people sit here and they fangirl about these girls and they love on these girls for their looks and their hair, and they don't listen to what they say. This even goes for the Miss Earth organization or all the other organizations. These organizations work so hard to give you outspoken women, and then you don't listen to them or take to heart the example that they're trying to show you. I do my very best to follow the example of the Miss Earths and the Miss Universes and all the other queens. They are trying to impact the world in a positive way. And for you to sit there and just talk about their evening gowns, it's pretty insulting. For you to just sit there and talk about their hair and not their advocacies, it's pretty insulting. I do my very best. And this is why my channel is so diversified, because people have come to me and they asked, which I understand. They'll say, why are you speaking about other issues? I thought this was a pageant channel. I'm always going to talk about beauty pageants, but what type of person am I going to be to love on these girls and not follow their example? We want these women to be educated and talk about world issues. Who am I to sit here and not do it myself? They're encouraging us to be advocates, to speak out, to take notice, to educate ourselves. Who am I to just sit here then and talk about their gowns? This is why I have a privy council now where I will be talking about the United States political issues because my country deserves to be dragged. But this is why I also have the court council where I talk about social issues. This is why my channel is diversified, because I expect so much of these Miss Universe women, and I understand that they're trying to get us to follow their lead. If you're sitting here as a pageant fan and you don't have your own advocacy, if you are sitting here as a pageant fan and you have not taken the lessons of these queens to hearts, whether it be Zosie talking about racial discrimination, or the different queens that have taken mental health advocacy seriously, or the Miss Earth queens who have taken the environmental issues to heart, if you are not following their lessons and taking that into your own life, what's the point of all this? What are we doing here? Like, if this is what you guys want, to sit here and talk about dresses all damn day, why do you expect these girls to be so educated and force them to speak so eloquently only for you not to listen? It's insulting. I will always continue to talk about pageant girls because you know that I love them, but I will have other things on the channel that are going to be fun. Sometimes I'm going to bring some lighthearted stuff because we need to laugh. It's been a very serious week for us, but I'm not going to turn a blind eye, and I'm not going to back down. Some of you get very surprised that I'm very sassy in the comment section of my YouTube videos or on Instagram. Get over it. Everybody knows. Everybody knows how I am. Some of you are very spoiled by the kindness of the queens, but you will find no such mercy here. I have no problem and greatly enjoy playing whack-a-troll. Okay, I find the combativeness kind of like dodgeball, and I like dodgeball. If you throw balls at me, I'm gonna throw them back. I love a good competition. Everybody knows that. But under no circumstances am I or other queens obligated to tolerate your abuse. We are under no obligation to tolerate your nonsense. I have made no secret of my willingness to drag people. The only privileges that I extend here at court go to the pageant queens. If the pageant queens decided to yell at me through DMs, they are, as far as I'm concerned, protected. They have my full, I grant you authority. You can, if you really are mad at me, go ahead and yell at me in the DMs. They never have. I'm not saying that they have, but I would not out them for doing so. I would not do that to them. I extend them those privileges to do what they want. But trolls, I don't care. If you are going to come to me and claim that I am a liar, I'm going to prove you wrong in the worst way. I really don't care if you call me mean for it, but I don't think it's being mean to decide that I don't want to tolerate disrespect or abuse. And it's very ironic that those accusations come from very sensitive men. Apparently men don't like it when women talk back to them. Apparently men don't like women in authority. And I just have to ask you, why are you a pageant fan? Why are you a pageant fan if that bothers you so much? But this is to just say that I need pageant fans to be a bit more diligent. I need pageant fans to be a bit more educated. I need you guys to not be so focused on these women's looks and their swimsuit performances. I know, very hypnotic. I know they're very beautiful. I know it's very hard, but you should be listening to them and learning from them. So I have homework. I have homework for some of you. I have homework for all of you. Pageant fans, those of you here in my court, understand that we are all going to try to not only adore and love these women, but live by their example. So this is your homework. I know most of you, pretty much all of us, have our favorite lists of the competitors we have as our top competitors, the girls that we adore so much. Go find out about their advocacies and see what they are doing to live by those advocacies and advocate for those advocacies. See how much input, how much they are participating in uplifting and bringing awareness to those advocacies. Let's not just give that type of detailed attention to their dresses and their hair. In the comment section below, let me know what queen has an advocacy that you feel personally connected to. How about we do that? Also, everybody here at my court, at least, if you are a subscriber here, I want you to have at least one advocacy. If you want to do more, go for it, overachievers, but everybody here at my court, I want you to have one advocacy. One thing on this planet that you believe in and will speak out for and represent when the time comes. One thing that you are passionate about and willing to bring into your life and your world. I have multiple advocacies. I am always out doing things. Everybody knows that you should know at this point that I'm a regular plasma donor and a blood donor, that I'm an environmentalist, that I am very into encouraging reading with children. I'm into politics and political awareness and activism. I show what I am involved in, and I do my best to use my platform, not just for fun, but for learning and teaching. So yes, pageant fans, go learn about the women's advocacies, go and watch the women's interviews, go and learn about these women's lives, and stop just focusing on their looks, okay? Hopefully through this video, we've reached a better understanding of what I'm doing here on the channel, because some people are confused why I speak about certain issues while at the same time I talk about pageants. It's because quite honestly, everything does go together, okay? I talk about pageants, but I also talk about issues because the pageant queens also talk about issues. We should all be going in their example. See, there's a method to my madness. There's a reason for my nonsense, okay? I'm not just a weirdo, even though I am a weirdo. Admittedly, I am. And I allow for dissent here at court. I allow for debate here at court, but you better come correct and you better come respectfully. Otherwise, you might just get snatched in the comment section. I don't know what to say. Stop getting surprised. Everybody knows I do it at this point. In the comment section below, let me know what you think about this topic. Are you one of the pageant fans that really, admittedly, haven't been following along with the interviews, haven't been listening to what the queens have to say? Let me know what advocacies you guys are going to choose to take unto yourself and be your life permanent advocacy. Everybody should have at least one, okay? So please find something and let us know what it is. Make sure you give the video a thumbs up. I love you, I'll miss you, and you know I will be back in a future video.